So Ashura has Kamal and JP, and I actually wanted to make kind of a discussion video on how good he actually is. This is for both sides. If you actually have some opinions that maybe are different than mine, you're very well free to leave in the comments. I'll give what I think, of course. Exactly. So I'm in game, but I'm not actually going to talk about the banners. Actually, I just want to open with the in-game banner thing. Ashura, I'm very happy that he is not a like must summon, like super broken unit, or else like he would be a problem, because I want to say most people are not summoning right now. They're waiting for anniversary. So if Ashura was like a Rage Obito or like a Blazing Bash Minato where they are like super broken, it would be a problem, but fortunately he's not one of them. So I'm very happy about that. Talking about PvE, I'm briefly talking about PvE. He's terrible on PvE, so if you for some reason are thinking of using him, because here's the thing, right? There are units, there are Blazing Bashes, that are good on PvE, like OC Naruto. I feel like he's such a valuable unit because he's so good on PvP, and he's also really helpful and good on PvE as well. So it's like a double-sided unit. But then we have units like Ashura where his PvE is terrible, absolutely terrible. So it's not something, I'm even gonna close down his wiki thing. So Ashura, he is a perfect unit for Blazing Bash before anniversary, because again, he's not very good, but he's actually quite decent. When I saw him first, I was like, I mean, he's not good, but I guess he can be useful. Right now, I think he's decent, right? Because he does do some good damage on his jutsu, but other than that, I can't really see much reason to use him, honestly, because here's the thing. The whole point of Ashura is that you want to have him on the field because he's the first unit that has a field skill that boosts speed, and it's actually a decent amount, 40. So you want to have that in the field, so it gives speed to, like, let's say Minato or Gaara, and then you outspeed your opponent. But there's one major issue with Ashura that I feel like they didn't give him because he would have been maybe too strong, which is the fact that he doesn't nullify mobilization. You don't want to have units in the field that don't nullify mobilization. This is like for the higher ranks, like the top Kage. If you look at their teams, they either have on the field like Minato, Braver Minato because he's a beast, or they have units that nullify mobilization. Final by Sasuke nullifies mobilization, Sage Naruto nullifies mobilization. And you see all these teams, they always use these units. If not, they have like a unit behind them that reduce chance, which can be the case for Ashura. Don't get me wrong, it can be the case for Ashura, but Ashura also doesn't help himself when he doesn't have that much speed. Like Sage 6 Pab's mother just got his air break, and he was around the same speed, but even him is faster, and he has so much more to go with him. This unit, he would have been so much better off if he had not only mobilization resistance, or like nullify mobilization at all, like not even sync skills, right? Which is the thing, right? Everyone's expecting this Blazing Bash to counter Minato, and that's not the way to counter, because they actually put increased damage against bravery. I don't know if that was specific to like counter Minato or something, but only 15% though, so that's not that crazy. But his damage is actually pretty good. I'm gonna go over the numbers of how much damage he can do, but his damage is actually pretty good. I actually quite like his damage, but him, like, for a unit, I don't think he's that broken. I think he's like a very OP must summon unit, which is against Gray. I mean, his banner does feature some good units, which I feel like it's kind of the way they wanted to go with. The unit is not that great, but the featured units are. Like Rage Obito. Rage Obito is in his banner, which is like the biggest point for his banner, honestly. But as a unit, you don't want to have him in the field because of it, but at the same time, his whole point is being in the field. It's the same thing for Kisame, where Kisame's jutsu, right? Blazing Bash Kisame's jutsu is the most effective if his jutsu is like if he's the first unit in the whole like game to jutsu. That's when he's the most effective. But because it's 5 and 10, he can't do that. So I feel like they are going with these Blazing Bashes where they are really good, but then they take something out of them to not be that broken, and that kind of like not help out the unit that much, right? I feel like it's the case for Ashura, where this unit, right, like this ability right here, this should have been nullify mobilization, but they were like, nah, that would be too strong. Let's put this kind of fodder ability. This ability is not fodder because, like, for an example, he cannot be pushed back into a Final Fight Sasuke, which is a big deal. Final Fight Sasuke's normal attacks on a bravery unit do like 10,000 damage. So like, he cannot be pushed back into a final by Sasuke, which is a big deal. Like, so this is actually helpful, but at the same time, nullifying mobilization would have been so much more. Also, damage reduction, which a unit that has 46,000 health might not need that much damage reduction, but again, we just got Sage 6 Peb's Moderate that has 57,000. I need to compare them because it is a unit that is in the game, and as units are released, they have to be at least a tiny bit better than some of the older units. There's some of them, but you see so many old units being better. It's good because then you don't have to constantly update your units, you don't have to constantly summon. That's actually a good thing for us, but at the same time it's weird because a new unit is like worse than like, I feel like this unit is worse than OT Naruto, which is the first Blazing Bash. I mean, the only reason why OT Naruto is so good is because he's Neo Broken, right? That's why he's so good, but it's just because OT Naruto has immobilization resistance, which is a big deal, right? So, and he does so much damage. But Ashura's damage, right? Let me actually bring up the calculator right here, my trusty calculator. Is actually pretty good. For a unit that is 3 and 6, 3 and 6 units don't do damage, but he does. Like, if you go to take look at his stats, because his stats are actually really high. 3 and 6, are they high? I don't know. They might not be. Maybe I'm just getting confused, but on neutral, for an AoE jutsu that costs 3 chakra, like, that's actually pretty good because he also reduced their chakra by 1. That's a really good normal jutsu. It really is. I'm actually impressed by it. Because again, 3 and 6 units, except Minato. But Minato is single target, so it kind of makes sense, right? If they are AoE, they don't do damage. But this guy, he's doing some like good damage. Again, on type advantage, this guy is doing some 26k damage. Doesn't sound too high, but he also is taking 1 chakra, so I mean, I guess you can use him as like a opener, so you have him behind someone else and then you jutsu with him, take off their chakra and maybe have him in the field giving some speed. Maybe that is a way of using him, but I guess I don't know why you do that. It seems like Ashura would be much better off if you have him in the field and then he gives speed to the units around him, right? So I do believe maybe he would be better to be put in the, like, maybe the middle row, so he would it depends on what map that you are, because here's the thing, a lot of maps on Kage League you would not be able to actually get the field skill up on spawn. Like, you would spawn, a lot of maps you would get like maybe 30 speed from this field skill, like 25, very hard to get like 40, maybe I'm trying to think of one that you would get 40, but I can't think of any. Maybe the one that, yeah, the one that all 3 are like really together, that one you would get 40 for sure, but other than that, mostly you get 20 max, 25, 30 max, and some you wouldn't even get the field skill. So I guess it's very random how the field skill is gonna operate in that opener, and again, I just cannot think of a single other reason why you would use him other than the opener being like faster, right? Because now the game is really centered around who wins the speed tie. If both of them have Minato, if both people have Minato, the ones who wins the speed tie mostly are the ones who win. Not every time, but a lot of the time it is. So maybe he's kind of a unit that helps that. But at the same time, if you have him in the field, he's really slow. So you're losing 1 turn where your opponent is gonna outspeed you. Like, he's super slow. 288, I'm sorry. He's super slow, right? You don't want to have an opener unit that is so slow. So it kind of backhands. Again, I'm really happy that he's not a good unit, because then I am not summoning for him. I have over 1,000 pros on my my PvP global that I've been like really focusing on getting PvP units. I didn't miss Sage Naruto on that account, which is very sad, but I'm kind of focusing on that, on getting PvP units, so I'm very happy I don't have to summon for him, because I really want to summon for the Blazing Bash for the anniversary, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna be broken. But actually, taking a look at his banner, I was gonna really get a quick look at his banner, but on his banner you see that he has Rage Obito, which in my opinion is still the best, or the second best, if you want to call Minato the best one, Blazing Bash in the game. Like, Rage Obito and Sasori are really good. Kakashi, he's good. He does good damage, but like, I would not say he's in the level of like Sasori and Obito. And then Naruto's god awful. Naruto is trash. Like, it's actually sad that he's in there. But and then of course we have Ashura. I would say this banner, I've been saying, right, Rage Obito, if you see him on a banner, you should summon, but not like this. I feel like if they bring back, there was a banner where they brought 7 Blazing Bashes, or is it 9? I think it was 7 Blazing Bashes or 8, I don't know. And all of them had 1% rates, and they were, a lot of them guaranteed and rate up in that banner. It was extra good banner. I feel like if a banner comes down like that, and they might do a banner like that before anniversary, like to get some pearls in. And they have Rage Obito of good rates, because right here, Rage Obito is unfeatured in all of the steps, and then in this step he can maybe get guaranteed, maybe is 1 out of 5, 20% chance of getting him, and then again he becomes unfeatured. So it's not like you're gonna be getting Rage Obito if you summon anyways. So maybe he was guaranteed, I would say yeah, summon, but can't think of a reason. Ashura, although he is kind of a hyped character because it's Ashura, there's no other reason for him to be hyped other than the fact that he is Ashura. I don't feel like he's that great. Which, actually, every single time I Google Ashura, they cut the H, but in the game it has an H, so I don't actually know what's the correct thing. I don't really care, but at the same time I wonder why. If you Google Ashura, at least for me, they correct to Azura, and then in game it's Ashura. So I don't know why it's that. But again, maybe it's just my opinion. I'm still to talk to some like people that really know PvP. That get like top 1, top 2, top 10 every single Kage League, and ask them what they think about Ashura. But I cannot think they will say that Ashura is like a really good unit because of the exact same things I said. He doesn't nullify mobilization, and he is a unit that has to be in the field, so he has to do that, or else you're not gonna win against like the high level of Kage League. He will not be good, which is the same thing for Kisame. Kisame can be a really good unit, but not for the high level of Kage League. He'll never be. So yeah. I think I'll end on that. Thank you guys for watching, and again, this is an open discussion, so let me know in the comments what you think of Ashura and why maybe you think he's good. That could be a realization for me. Maybe I'm thinking wrong. I don't know. Please sub.